What's going on, everybody? Corey here, and this week I want to talk about the state of money magic and coin magic in general. As we move into, further into the future, we're seeing people are carrying less and less actual money and coins on them. Um, if you ask someone to borrow a dollar, or if you go to a store and a store says we're accepting credit card only, or credit or debit only, or I'm sorry, accepting cash only, you'll see a lot of people just leave. Not a lot of people carry cash anymore. I personally don't carry a lot of cash on me. It might be a couple bucks here and there. I have some cash stashed away for emergencies. But for the most part, I don't carry cash on me. And we see this in money all the time, in currencies. With the elimination of some money, like the $2 bill, we see the elimination of that. We see the elimination of, even though they still mint 50-cent pieces, you don't really find them in circulation anymore unless you go to a bank and someone brought their collection in. Same with dollar coins. And as we move more and more cashless, using your cell phone to, tap and pay, credit cards to tap and pay, debit cards to tap and pay, smartwatches that tap and pay, different things like fitness bands, all that kind of stuff, we see less and less people carrying cash. And all the time I hear magicians talk about, oh, well, that means coin magic is going to be dead. It's not going to exist anymore. And any magic with bills, dead. It's not going to exist anymore. And I don't agree with that at all. Most people who are doing coin magic are using half dollars most times for their size coins, sometimes silver dollars. And I don't know if they get it, if they think that because they're using a Kennedy that was minted in 2020, that means it still means something to the public. I can take you to anyone born just about in 2000 and after who has never seen a 50-cent piece unless a magician there showed it to them or a family member showed them a 50-cent piece. I've seen people get really worked up when they work at banks because someone brings in like a Kennedy half dollar and they're like, oh my God, this is like an ancient thing. We don't see them in circulation anymore. And magicians were always using bigger coins than quarters. Now you have some that'll use smaller coins, but I've never seen a quarter expanded shell that's worth anything to a shell set. I've got a couple, and they all look like absolute garbage. And so I would never use them for anything. And besides that, like we think of, people say it's like, oh, it takes away from borrowing coins. I don't borrow coins when I do magic. I might borrow a bill. And okay, if I do anything where I borrow a bill to do the magic, that changes. I no longer borrow the bill. I bring out one of my own bills. But going to the example of quarters, okay, well, here I have a copper, silver, brass set that's done in quarters. Sure, I can borrow the quarter. I can't borrow the other two coins. I can't borrow the Chinese coin, which isn't what Chinese currency looks like or has ever looked like. I can't borrow the brass coin that I have. I don't even know where that's from. It's a Korean coin. I can't borrow that from anybody. So I can borrow the quarter, maybe, if someone has change on them. And that's would always be the case with this. Like, sure, I can borrow the quarter, but I can't borrow these two. So why does it matter? And I'm left at the end of a trick that everything can be examined. I oftentimes, when I perform with silver dollars. These are old, like these are over 100 years old. Or silver half dollars and walking liberties, which again are getting up there in age at being like 80 years old. So this whole argument that coin magic and money magic is going to go away. I think you just have to realize that the thing that most people aren't realizing is we haven't borrowed money to do magic for a long time. And again, yeah, there's some bill magic, but even like I can't count the number of times I watch people do bill switches that they don't borrow the bill. They bring out their own bill, they hand it out, have it looked at and everything, and then go into the trick. Or they do a trick with $1 and they hand it out afterwards. One of my go-to bill effects has always been Fraud by Daniel Garcia. Beautiful trick. I've performed it countless times. If it were to get down to it where I needed to do that trick and I had no way of borrowing a bill, I would just be prepared and do the trick with my own money. Because before they can handle the bill, they're going to sign the bill, and then afterwards they're going to get the bill. Everything there is built for them to keep and deface something of mine that they can use. Another one is Artificial Experience 2.0 from Peter Eggink. It's a great pencil pen through bill routine. Sure, I could borrow $1 now and get into the whole thing and do it. Or I can bring out $1, have it checked out, fold it up, borrow the pencil or grab my own pen, and then do a pencil through bill. So not much, in my opinion, is going to change going forward money magic. And then, the other argument I hear, the other question I hear is like, okay, well, let's say we use our own stuff. Well, how do we justify this? It's like, you don't have to. It's magic. One of my pet peeves, and you can go back to some Coffee and Magics a couple episodes ago, a couple live streams ago, maybe even the last one, where I talk about my frustration with magicians because they always feel like you have to justify every single thing you do. And I've talked about this even on magic calls with some of my friends where we talk about, it's like, why do you need to justify everything? Why do you need to bring out this silly little brass box when doing an Okido box and need to tell a story about how when you went to China, you met a wise Chinese man and at a temple, and he gave you this box encrusted with power, and you don't have to. You come out and say, hey, like, I read a silly little brass box. Your magicians be like playing with stupid things, and I was always like, hey, I'm gonna think of something to do with this, so here we go. That's all the justification you need. Or just bring around and like, hey, I want to show you something, just show you a trick using this little box here. And then just go into it. You don't need to justify everything that you do. Coming out with these coins, you don't need to say that, oh, my grandfather collected coins and he got me collecting coins and this was the first set and he gave these to me and I always said I was going to do a magic trick with them. You don't have to do that. You can just simply come out and like, hey, I'd like to show you a trick using these 4 old silver dollars. And then just go into it. And then afterwards, like this is a shell set, afterwards you just get rid of the shell and they can inspect everything. Or you palm off the shell right at the get-go and they can inspect everything before you even get into it. So I get very wound up about this topic just because I see it so much. People thinking that like coin magic is going to go away and bill magic is going to go away. And I know it's getting harder in other countries that are going to like the plastic bills. But you can look at other magicians that are in other countries that when they do magic, they use American currency. They use like an American dollar bill, or they use American half dollars. Craig Petty's a great example. Like you see him using American half dollars in a lot of stuff, a lot of his coin magic. he doesn't need to justify it. There's nothing to justify. So I think we need to worry less about what's going to happen to this because it's going away. Well, I mean, we can make that same argument for so many things we do in Magic. Like, why do we still do card tricks? There's not a lot of in-home poker games going on. It's the same argument when people say you have to use bicycles because that's the common card. When you go to someone's house and ask them for a deck of cards, they're going to bring out some stupid novelty deck. In most cases, you're going to get like a Coca-Cola deck or a Jack Daniels deck or some weird dollar store deck. You're not going to get a bicycle deck. I've never had any spectator at all when I've done private parties, has ever brought me a bicycle deck of cards to do Magic with. It's always been some weird novelty deck that they got free with something that they happen to have in a drawer. And that's a big problem with magicians is we overthink things so much that we back ourselves into a corner and then we start eliminating good things because we've overthought it so much. And I think a lot of that comes from us always thinking, magicians always think we need to justify everything that we do, every action, every prop, everything that comes into play, we have to justify it. And it comes from just thinking that regular people, that our lay audience is going to question everything that we do. They're watching a magic show. If they paid you to be there, they're expecting to see magic. They're expecting to see you as either portraying yourself as a real magician, which isn't my style, but it might be some of people who have real magical powers, or seeing a sleight of hand artist who spent years and years learning things, learning sleights, and everything to be able to perform miracles. Stop getting in your head about things and start just looking at things like when you see something that you like, don't think like, what's my justification going to be? Think, I'm going to learn that, I'm going to do it because it's a great trick. And you're going to cross that bridge when you get there. But you don't need to justify everything. Money magic is not going away. If it was going to go away, it would have went away 20 years ago when people started carrying cards more. And you started less carrying cash. I haven't carried cash since high school. As soon as pay at the pump became a thing, I stopped having cash on me when I could pay at the pump. So, yeah, those are just my thoughts. It was kind of like a little gripe session, but I just wanted to talk about it because I just hear about it all the time. And you hear about it in the Magic EDC community a lot. It's like, oh, what are we going to do when coins go away? No one carries coins. Just carry your damn coins, do your damn tricks, and be happy and impress some people, show them some miracles, and leave your audience happy and in amazement because you've done something incredible with just a couple ordinary objects in your pocket. And sure, if someone has coins that you can borrow and your whole thing right now is you do things with quarters or with people's pocket change, then do that. But don't stop doing it just because less and less people are carrying change. Just do you. Okay? So, anyways, that's it. I want to thank you for checking out this video. I'd love to hear what you think down below in the comment section. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. You can share it in magic groups or wherever. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on money magic. And if you think it's going to die a horrible, gruesome death, or if you're kind of along the lines of me, it's like, it's going to be around. It's been around for centuries. It's going to continue to be around. We carry our own stuff. I don't ever borrow coins, but that's just me. But I want to thank you all for watching this video, and we'll have a conversation down below, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.